Hey, this is Kent over at Zamplo, and today I'm going to talk about an exciting new feature that we've been working on called Skip Trace Pro. So let's dive in. On your dashboard, when you log in, you will see a little mention here about Skip Trace Pro. Now, just before I show you how it works, a couple of things I want to highlight. And one, if you're unfamiliar with skip tracing, it's essentially the process of finding accurate contact information for property owners that extends beyond just their mailing addresses. So, the most common things that land investors are looking for are things like phone numbers and email addresses. And rather than connecting with property owners by mail, or maybe in addition to your mail campaigns, this would allow you to also run SMS or cold calling campaigns. Another common use case might be to connect with a neighbor of one of your existing properties that you own, maybe with the goal in mind to try to sell to them. Or if there's a property that you're looking to buy, but it's landlocked and you want an easement and you need to speak with the neighbor about getting that or seeing if that's possible, that's another potential use case. So with Skip Tracing Pro, you get up to 5 phone numbers and 5 email addresses. And that's a big difference than what our current skip tracing it provides, which is called Skip Trace Basic. And that provided 1 telephone number and 1 email addresses. And also the hit rate for that was 40 to 60%. Skip Tracing Pro is 90% and above. In many cases, I've even seen 100% for some lists. And we also provide information that tells you what type of phone it is. So phone type identification, and makes it easier to target mobile numbers for SMS campaigns. And there's also a do not call registry check. So something that can help you stay compliant. And the other thing just to note about that is if you're unfamiliar with skip tracing and you've never done it before, I would recommend taking a little bit of time to learn and understand the rules and regulations around skip tracing just before you go in and start using any of the data. So to get started on how to use Zamplo and Skip Tracing Pro, and it's essentially the exact same thing that you would do if you were going to pull any list of records. So I'm going to go to export data in the top here, and I've already created a query that I'm going to load up here. So I've created this query. I'm going to select it right here. It pre-populates all those things that I'm looking for. In this case, we have 25 records that I want to export, and I want to do the Skip Tracing Pro with as well. So when I go to export data, I land on this choose data to export page, which is where you get to decide what columns are going to come over on your CSV file. So you can select the different column presets that you have right here. We do have the ability to just add in Skip Tracing Pro right here as well, with detailed and meaning every single piece of information that we have about that record. But if you're wanting to do something like basic and then just Skip Tracing Pro, which might be more common, there's this little box in the middle right here where you can select to turn that on. And that would basically add Skip Tracing Pro onto that export. So you might have noticed there, and also on the previous screen, that the cost of Skip Tracing Pro is 14 cents per record. That being said, we do offer bulk discounts, and so please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to discuss some options with you on how we can lower the cost of Skip Tracing Pro for you to best fit your needs. Another thing to note is that with Skip Tracing Pro, we only charge based upon hits. So if something doesn't return a hit, we won't charge you for it, where the current Skip Tracing that we had prior to this, called Skip Trace Basic, would charge you regardless. So at the time of the export, the final amount will be adjusted based on the successful records only. And then whatever was unused credit-wise would go back into your balance. So you can use at a later date for more skip tracing or to export more records or whatever it may be. So when I'm ready, I go ahead and hit export and pay. And then that's going to bring me to this page, which will take maybe 30 seconds to prepare the download here. When you're doing skip tracing, it might take a little bit longer than normal if you've been used to only pulling lists of property records and like addresses and things like that. That runs a little bit quicker, but this will get done in just a moment here, and then your download will be available. If it didn't hit all 25 records here too, it would show you the breakdown of how many it did hit and what the refund would be back to your balance of your account. So the download is there. I've already downloaded it to speed up this video. When I go to the export parcels page, I've scrolled over. We're starting at the email column right here. So we have 5 email addresses associated with that property. And then we have the phone number information. So phone number 1, phone number 2, for example. We'll also have the phone type. And then there's also information if the phone has been tested, if the phone was reachable. And again, we have up to 5 telephone numbers. So that is the way that you would do skip tracing at the same time that you are doing an export of your records. We do have the capability as well to load a list after the fact. And so if you had narrowed down your list and, maybe there was only 100 out of the 500 that you wanted to skip trace, you could bring that list over into the CSV enrichment tool, load it in, and then skip trace after the fact as well. So as always, if you have questions, if you want to hop on a call and talk about your specific needs and to see what sort of bulk discount options would be available for you, please don't hesitate to give me a call and we'd be happy to help out.